Hey, y'all. Welcome to the channel. For those of you that are new, welcome to Birthing Bosses with Felicia. I am Boss Lady Fee. Good morning, guys. It's really early in the morning. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm bringing you greetings this morning from North Carolina, guys. I know it's cold outside. I haven't been out there, but temperature reading on the weather, it is really cold, guys. But as I said the other day, thank God for a warm and cozy house, guys. Listen, I wanted to do a video with you all. If you've been rocking with me for a while, then you know I like to have heart-to-heart conversations with my subscribers from time to time, guys. I've been up since 4-ish a.m. Laid there for a little while. I then got up, I think it was around 5 o'clock. I got up and I started designing, and you'll see some stuff behind me, guys. So I am working on my men baskets today. I've been working on those for a couple of days now, just getting those done. Men are kind of like the during Valentine's Day, well, any holiday, men are the least bought for, and that's a whole nother discussion in itself. Wish my husband was still here, that I could get him a gift, but while he was here, I took really good care of him. So hey, it is what it is. But yeah, so I'm working on that. But I was just sitting here thinking as I was working on all of these baskets, and again, sliding over so y'all can see, but I was kind of unction to talk about it when I was going in my inventory rooms. All glory be to God. To get different items out of my inventory pile. And I was just thinking about how blessed I am, how blessed I've always been. But when it came to finances, there was always a struggle. Had a really great marriage up until the point my husband went home to be with the Lord. But our struggle was always finances. And I look now at where God has brought me. And I know a lot of you maybe, well, I'm not going to say a lot of you, but people may look sometimes like I be designing on this kitchen table behind me, and it's all scratched up, scarred up. But I have this table by choice. The things that you see in my house are by choice. But there was a time that I didn't have a choice. There was a time that I didn't have a choice. The items that you see, like the thing, I'm in a house. I've been in this house for, I guess it's right at 13 years now. And this is the house that me and my family lived in that was Section 8. This is the very house that the government paid for me and my family to stay in. And just to give you guys just a little back history for those of you that are new on my channel, please, y'all, go back and watch old videos when I first started on YouTube. There was a lot of things that I shared. And I mean, I still share them freely now. I just don't have the time sometime to do that or to talk about certain things because I'm so busy designing and shopping and stuff. But about, and I'm bad with timing, y'all. Okay, so my timing could be off. But just know that it happened, okay? Regardless when it happened, just know that it happened. About, and I know it's been longer than 4 years now, probably about 5 years. I've got to find a letter. I wrote a letter to my Section 8 housing rep. I wrote a letter to my food stamp worker, Medicaid worker. And I told all of them that I no longer needed the service. I didn't. We were still basically struggling. My husband has always worked, always been a provider, always been a great, great husband and a great dad. But we just he never had the type of job that paid a lot of money. It was enough to keep the bills going. You know, they were late sometime, but it was enough to keep the bills going. But so anyway, don't want to lose train of thought. But anyway, 13 years in this house, guys. So everything that you see in this house has been from when I was on Section 8. This furniture that I have, I've had this furniture probably over 15 years because I had got it right before I moved here. I had never, and I'm sharing all of this for a reason. I had never, we had never had new furniture. We had never had new appliances. We had never. Did I? I was about to say, I don't think I still have never had a, I haven't. Still haven't ever had a brand new refrigerator. Again, keep in mind now, it's by choice, okay? So anyway, we finally, one income tax year. It was an income tax season and it was a Valentine's season. We had did really, really well. I said, you know what? We're going to buy all new stuff. Went and bought new furniture. So this kitchen set that you see, my living room furniture, the brown couch that you see, I done gave my daughter 2 of the pieces now just to kind of downsize in my living room. But the stuff that you see are all items that I bought while I was still in the struggle. And things didn't start to turn around financially like on a grand scale till about 4 years ago. So shortly after I made the decision to let go of Section 8, I made the decision to let go of food stamps. Every system that had me entangled, I let it go. And like I said, not because we had a plan. I mean, we've always had a plan. We've always been entrepreneurs. We've always did side hustles. My husband, even with him working, he would recycle. He would just do different things. Was just always a really, really hard worker. But it just seemed like no matter how hard he worked and no matter what we did, we just always struggled financially. Like there was a generational curse of poverty that lingered over our heads. And I just always knew there was greater for us. And the people that were around me, even like my Section 8 worker, I remember her coming here one day and she did my inspection. I've always kept a really, really clean house. Like me and my children and my husband have always kept a really clean house. My husband was really military style when it came to cleaning. So we've always kept a really clean house. That was before I had to bring all of this business stuff here. Okay, I've always had a brick and mortar. That's another story. This is gonna have to be a 2-part video, guys. But I've always had a brick and mortar business, even when I was struggling. It was raggedy. Oh gosh. I remember I'm telling y'all, what you see now is not who I've always been. The things I'm able to do now, I haven't always been able to do those things. And I share these things with you guys to encourage you, to let you know it doesn't matter where you are now. It doesn't matter that you maybe have been in this place your whole entire life. But the key to getting not just where I am, but even surpassing where I am is consistency. No matter what it looks like, no matter what struggles we went through, no matter how dark things seem, I kept going and I kept persevering and I kept pushing and I kept praying and I kept believing. Like, I wasn't destined to be broke. I wasn't destined to live in the projects my whole life. I wasn't destined to have to rob from Peter to pay Paul. Cause y'all, let me tell you something. For those that don't know, when I started my business, okay, you talking about candy. My lashes probably about to come off. I don't care. You talking about candy? I used to have to use my food stamps to buy candy to go in my gift baskets. I would always, now I've always been, I've always been a big saver, guys. I've always been a big saver. Even when I was 17, I've been out on my own since I was 17 with two young girls. I had my twins I had them when I was 16. August. Yeah, I had them when I was 16. I turned 17 a month after I had them. Moved out on my own. I've always been a saver. When I used to do hair, I am a cosmetologist, licensed cosmetologist by trade, guys, or by profession. And I would save my money in a jar. As I would make money, I would save my money in a jar so that when it came time to pay bills, I would have my money. That's a whole nother story. Like I said, I can get so long with this. It's so much to talk about. But anyway, I'm trying to keep my train of thoughts. I don't get too far out there. But again, where I'm at now is not where I've always been. And where I'm at now is not where I'm going to be. So I say that all of this to encourage you guys, to let you know, no matter how, doesn't matter how small your beginnings are. The Bible says, despite not small beginnings. And God has great, great plans. He has great plans for your life. He has plans to prosper you and bring you to an expected end. But there is a timing and a season for everything under the sun. Everything has a time. Everything has a season. And going back to the part about the food stamps, I was not able. I used to have to save some of my food stamps. Like, I would go and buy all of our food for the month, and I'd be like, okay, I need to save like $25 or $30 to buy candy to go in my baskets. Of course, I wasn't making as many baskets as I make now. And I was like, I need to save at least $25 or $30 of my food stamps to buy candy to go in my baskets, right? Then when the sales would come, I'm talking about the 25-cent sale that we're waiting for. Hopefully it will be next week. I'll keep you guys informed. But when I was waiting for the 25-cent sales at Dollar General, I used to have to borrow the money. I'm not going to cry this whole video. I'm going to tell you that. I'm perfectly okay with crying. I'm not one of those ones that act like they don't cry. I'm perfectly fine. Y'all seen tons of videos with me crying on them. But I'm not going to cry this whole video. Yeah, for one thing, I need to wrap it on up. I used to have to borrow the money. I used to have to borrow the money until I sold my baskets. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. And I was telling somebody the other week, I said a lot of people probably, if they don't have good discernment and they don't have good discerner of spirits and they can't pick up stuff, they may take me the wrong way sometimes. Because I'm sure that some people I may come off as arrogant or I may come off as bragging, but you don't know my story. And I talk the way that I talk because I'm not, how can I put it that it'll make sense? I've never been a person of competition, right? I've never been her. Never been her. But I do compete against the Section 8 girl. I do compete against the girl on food stamps. I do compete against the girl that used to have to borrow money. That's who I compete against. So when I talk and I call myself the hall queen, I call myself the shopping queen, it's because this is who I always knew that I would be. This is the person I always knew I would be. So when you see me posting pictures, you see me posting videos, dancing and stuff, it's because I'm grateful to God. I'm so grateful to God that He didn't allow me to stay where I was. And there's so much more in store, not only for me, but for you as well. Like, I'm here to show you guys an example. You know the story in the Bible? From the pit to the palace. Yeah. I'm an example. And I ain't in the palace yet. And again, I say, where I'm at, physically, my physical address, my furniture, all of that can change today if I wanted it to. But I'm waiting on God for direction. I'm waiting on God to give me the rest of the plan, the blueprint of where He wants me to be, what He wants me to do. And everything is going to become brand new. Never thought that I'd be doing it without my soulmate. But one of the prayers that I prayed to God and one of the visions that I wrote down, because my husband used to have to work every holiday. He was always like into restaurant work, or after he left working in restaurant, he worked like in factories. Always had to work every holiday. Had to work because you had to be there for other people's families. And my prayer was always, let me become financially stable so that my husband do not have to work a 9-to-5 job. And God granted me my request. He granted me my request. But I had no idea that 3 years after I became financially stable and I told my husband, come off your job. You provided for us all these many years. It wasn't what we wanted, but it was what we needed. And you kept a roof over our heads. You kept lights shining bright. let me take over from here. I had no idea that 3 years after that my husband would be murdered. I had no idea that 3 years after God made us financially stable, that my husband would no longer be here. But God granted me my request. My husband was able to rest his last few years of life. We had to fuss and fight. Not really fighting, but I mean, we used to fuss because he was so used to working and he just wanted to stay busy. And I was like, rest. It's okay to rest. Like, just help me run the business and you good. But he would always try to find something to do. But God knew that that day would come. It caught me somewhat by surprise, but not by surprise. Because my husband actually had the dream of how he would die. A lot of times we don't understand certain things that happen in life. We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the blueprints. But the